Dante Benuto, the assistant editor of Kerrang magazine. Welcome aboard, Dante.
Thank you.
Nice to have you back.
Nice to be here. Yeah, we've got some good news this week. There's stuff about Twisted Sister, Black Sabbath, and yes, vocalist John Anderson, so there's plenty going on.
OK, superb. Stay tuned then for some rather hot Power Hour news.
Is John Anderson a frontman? It features quite a number of tracks. Some of which...
Good Lord, I never imagined that from John Anderson. Anyway, onwards.
Let's talk about Kiss now, because former Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley has recently been doing some demos at the Power Station in New York with producer Tony Bon Jovi, the uncle of John Bon Jovi, who's been on the Power Hour, of course, when he came over to play Donington earlier this year. Ace is doing about 3 tracks, just demo stuff. And he should be doing a version of The Boys Are Back in Town, the old Thin Lizzy classic.
Suit him down to the ground.
Yes, and another former member of Kiss, there's quite a few ex-members of Kiss dotted around these days. That's Vinnie Vincent, who used to play guitar with them. He's now signed a deal with Chrysalis Records and should have a solo album out around March. And that's looking very good, so it should be worth keeping an eye out for that one.
On the subject of Kiss, I know you've been chatting to a couple of the members fairly recently. We're going to see that. Who did you speak to?
I spoke to Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley.
Right, well, we'll see that in a few minutes. I know you've got some news on Alcatraz as well.
Yes, it also involves...
Hour. And can I just say, congratulations, because if my calculations are correct, the new Asylum album is your 21st album, so it's kind of Kiss coming of age.
Close, 20th album.
It's actually a
counting compilation records, though. See, I'm counting compilation records here as well.
See, everybody seems to have different opinions. To me, it's our 16th, but 16th, 20th, they're good numbers. 21 is a good number, too.
But thank you for the congratulations.
Thanks.
We're proud.
You're welcome.
What's wonderful is to be able to send the new copy of our 20th album to all the critics that said that the band wouldn't last after the first one. Those guys that are no longer working for those magazines.
And there was quite a few of those, wasn't there, at the time?
That's right, but you were never one of those people. See this man here? This is a man with integrity, sincerity, and I love this man dearly. When you see him on the street, say to him, Dante, you're A-OK.
I feel we should really end the program on that, really. But we have a bit more...
It's been nice seeing you.
A bit more time to go.
The question for tomorrow is, what does Scritti Politti mean? In America, we don't really know.
You can work on that one, actually.
Okay.
That could work with the next competition on the programme. But it's a bit of a cliche for bands to say, I'm really pleased with my new record, it's the best thing we've done. But in your case, I get the feeling you're genuinely happy with the new Asylum album, which is just out in the States now.
Well, I think we're real excited because what you're always trying to do is make your latest record your best record in the same way that, an athlete's always trying to outdo himself. But, let's say somebody jumps 15 feet, it doesn't necessarily mean that the next time they're going to jump 15.5 or whatever. So, but in this case, I really think this is probably our best album in so long that I can't even say anything except it's probably our best album.
Yeah. You mean to say that it's our best album?
I think it's our best album. What do you think?
I think it may probably be our best album.
Is that a unanimous decision on that one?
Is it? I think
probably
it's
yeah.
our best album.
I noticed that the first track on side 2, Love's a Deadly Weapon, bears both your name and Paul's name, which must be the first time that's happened on a Kiss album in quite some time. How did that come about?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
Typing error?
The typing error.
Here's how it happened. Love's a Deadly Weapon originally was called the difference between men and boys is the size of their toys.
Yeah, and catchy title.
Catchy title.
Yeah.
Ooh, the girl, they know what that means. But what happened was that Paul had already written a song called Love's a Deadly Weapon, and the second line was, and Murder's on My Mind, and I liked the lyric better, so I stole it from one of Paul's old songs and stuck it onto this song.
Paul's old songs.
Paul's old song,
Paul's old songs,
And so I took that and stuck it on there, and there's your writing credit.
Yeah, I really can't in good conscience take credit for the song, just the inspiration. And is an inspiration really the source of all material possessions?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
The truth is, though, even though anybody, that people will take individual credits or group credits, the truth is that a song is a direct result of everybody sticking their hands into the pot and, just adding a little spice here and there. That's what gives it. Gee, I like that. I think I'll use that in the next interview.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's really true. I mean, it would do everybody a disservice to not really make a point of saying that everybody plays a real important part. Bruce had a tremendous input. Kulick had a tremendous input on this album.
So this is the first album he's actually been on with Kiss.
Well, yeah, he really felt at the beginning of the album that he wanted to make a big statement because he did the tour with us and everything went so well that we just wanted him to stay with us.
Actually, Bruce's entry into the band was kind of unusual in the way he joined. Could you maybe explain what happened to the previous guitarist, Mark St. John?
Yeah, Mark did the album.
It's the Animalize album.
Did
yeah.
Animalize, and then fell ill. His hand blew up to something the size of a dirigible, I guess. I mean, it was amazing to see a hand that big, and it wouldn't move. And finally they figured out he had a rare disease called Reiter syndrome, which comes and goes, and there's really no guarantee that it doesn't come back. And initially when we went to Europe, we took Bruce as a stand-in, thinking that Mark would join us in about 3 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite happen. What happened was he was ill for 4 months, and we didn't know when he was going to get better. And Bruce just kept getting better and better. And it really wouldn't have been fair to bring Mark in at the audience's expense and try to break him in.
Yeah.
He did do 2 shows with us, but 2 half shows, he just couldn't do it.
Sure. Bruce actually became a full official member of KISS during the American tour you mentioned. And on one night of that tour at the Cobo Hall, Detroit, you recorded a video, which has gone out on MTV, and it's also now available as a commercial cassette called Animalize Live Uncensored. Why did you choose the Cobo Hall to record that show rather than maybe a venue in New York or Los Angeles?
It happened pretty naturally. We were touring America. It was time to do the video, and people were telling us, well, look, you've got 10 dates to choose from, and Detroit happened to be the one where all the production facilities happened to fit. It's also an important... What?
We did a live there.
I was going to say, it's also an important city for us. It was one of the first cities where we happened. We were huge in Detroit before almost any other city in America. It's a real rock, real urban, it's where...
Working class.
Yeah, it's working class. People make cars there. It's a steel town. It's real. They react good to...
It must have been great coming out and opening up with Detroit Rock City in Detroit itself.
Oh, yeah. They go nuts every time they hear that. And the song was written, Paul wrote it, really as a direct result of the experiences in that city and the children that we've left behind as a result.
Yes, some of which you actually mentioned on stage, and there's an intro to one of the songs, I think. You talk about people coming up and claiming that they have your baby and things like that.
Well, people like to brag, that's just the way people are, so they like to,
Scritti politi.
whether it's true or not, intimate that they may know you.
How you can tell by the length of the tongue, I think you say.
By some.
Yeah, sometimes that's it. Other times they have stars, like indelible stars on their eyes that just don't wash off, and then we know that...
But now you've taken the makeup off, it must be harder to identify you.
Well, there's certain hidden attributes that the women know about.
Well, every once in a while, a baby will go either or all right, and then you sort of know that they belong on the Kerrang show right here.
Gene and Paul, you're in Europe at the moment as part of a promo tour,
Right.
doing interviews and things. But while you're in the UK, you've also done the video to back up the new single, Tears Are Falling.
Right.
You've been doing that for the last couple of days. How's that been going?
It went spectacular,
Smashing.
It's smashing.
That's the word.
Hello, Governor. Hello, Mayor. How are you?
Right.
Right. It's been going really great. One of the things that I remember when I was a kid was my mom used to say to me in America, they say, don't make a spectacle of yourself. But we decided we really wanted to be rather spectacular and go contrary to what parents might want, especially from our parents. So we decided to make a typical video.
This is not typical.
This is not, well, typical in the sense that it's spectacular.
Yeah.
It's that type of video. This is quotation marks. And David Mallett's done a lot of great
It's the
stuff.
first time you've worked with David
Yeah.
on this one, yeah.
And
He is brilliant.
he's brilliant. The man's absolutely brilliant. There aren't people of that caliber in the States that I can think of with his kind of consistency.
Right.
You have people who come up with the one-off, great videos, but this was just wonderful.
It
So-
seems to me that to be in a KISS video these days, you need to be in pretty good shape. You've done some fairly energetic things. In Heaven's on Fire, you jumped through a hoop of fire.
Right.
In Thrills in the Night, you're swinging onto the stage, and in this one, you've done a couple of quite over-the-top things as well.
Yeah, it's real interesting. When we start doing videos, I try to, the first thing that comes to mind, in terms of something physical is what I really want to try, whether I've done it before or not. So in this one, I was swinging on a rope, burnt my hand. It was really a lot of fun.
That's why you wouldn't shake my hand.
That's right. That's right. And
for other reasons.
And for other reasons, yeah, which I
yes.
won't go into.
Yeah, we won't talk about this. This is television. And then I jumped off what is called a trampette here. That was up on an elevated platform and jumped over Gene and Bruce. And
Who aren't the shortest
no,
of people,
they're
it must be
certainly
said.
they're certainly not short people. And I was so high up, matter of fact, I had oxygen up there, you know, and I discarded my mask just as I came into the atmosphere again. It was pretty amazing stuff, but it's always fun. I mean, that's what makes life fun. You know, within reason, it's nice to kind of take it to a point where you know you're alive.
Okay. Well, we mentioned that video's for the Tears Are Falling single, which is out in America and due to come out in Europe fairly shortly. Have you got a plan for the next single after that one?
We don't really play that game. The only thing that we do is we record the songs, put together the best album that we can, and then the single game is really up to the record company. But it seems, and whatever people want as a single is fine, because every track has to sound as if it belongs on the record. There are no tracks that, you know, let's do the single. None of that is gone into, at least in our plans. But it seems that the noise seems to be going towards all night.
Yeah, that's the last track on the album, isn't it? I've done some kind of research and I've asked around and I've tried to find out what that really means. And I think it must have something to do with maybe bedtime dreams or reading, something like that.
Well, you know, sometimes, actually, we didn't have much room for the whole title. And we ran out of type, so we just put,
Because the actual line goes, when you work all day, you've got to,
all night.
Yeah.
You know, basically
I wonder
what
what
the
that
song
means.
Yeah, what the song is really saying is, you know, we all have to do what we have to do to make ends meet, whether it's, you know, working or school or whatever. And if you got to work all day, you all night.